In this tutorial, we're going to start to create your portfolio graphics. So what I'd like you to do first is to run Photoshop, and then click File, and then New. And under here, I want you to select a width of 800, height of 600, and make sure it's pixels. Okay, if you have it at inches, it's going to be very, very slow. So if you find that you're rendering a gradient really slowly, you've accidentally selected inches. Okay, white background, and make sure it's 72 pixels per inch resolution. Then just click OK. Okay, once you have this, I just want you to make sure when yours comes up, it will be a little bit smaller. But I want you to grab the lower right hand corner and drag it out, just so you have a gray space here. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is select the rectangular marquee tool and just drag out a selection like this. Okay, now go to your gradient tool and make sure it's well, you can choose any color you want for the background and foreground. I'm just going to use a black and white gradient. Just remember that the foreground is where it's going to start, and then you drag to where the background color is. So in this case, I'm going to start with black and then drag to white. And so if you hold down the Shift key, it'll maintain a vertical stroke like this. And you end up with a gradient like that. Okay. The next is you click here and you're going to choose the polygon lasso tool. And you're going to draw a selection that looks like this. Now you want to maintain a 45-degree angle around here, so click here first, then drag through the corner at about a 45-degree angle, just so you're past the white. Then click, hold the Shift key down, you'll maintain a vertical line. Click, click, and then close it off with a click. Okay, and now you're going to use the gradient again. Again, hold down the Shift key, drag across, about like this, and you're trying to make it line up so it's even, and that's not quite even, so I'm just going to drag it a bit more this way. Hold the Shift key again, to about there. That's better. Okay, and then I'm just going to select, deselect, and I've got my gradient set up. Next, I'm going to put in some text, and I'm going to choose the color of my text is going to be red. Click OK, and I'll click here, and I'm going to put a big M, and I'm going to click the Move tool, and I'm just going to do Command T and drag that M out. And you want to choose a fairly thick font, but you want this to look good because this is going to be the banner for your portfolio. And you can stretch this. You don't actually have to maintain the aspect ratio if you don't want to. But it has to be long and has to go into the white of this. Now, you select and just do one letter, and that'll be the first letter of your name, because it's going to be your name. And then you're going to put in this, the rest of this. I'm going to put in is web portfolio. Okay, just like that. And I'm just going to move it over a bit. And Command T, I can stretch it out to whatever I want it to be. So it fits nicely. And then I can use the arrow keys to put it back to where I want. Now, once I've got that in place, this is a finished product. So, let's save. Okay, save this the way it is. And you're save this as a PSD file, and I'll save it in my web folder again. Let's go into my web folder. Where is my web folder? Oh, I haven't got one on here. Okay, let's make one. Web. And I'm just going to call this portfolio PSD. And this is just in case you want to redo it again. Save the Photoshop file. Now, if you look at my layers, I have 3 layers now, 2 text layers and this background layer, and I'm going to need to cut this up. So, in order to cut this up properly, the first thing I have to do is flatten it into a single layer. So I go to Layer, and, oops, let me make sure I'm here, Layer, and Flatten Image, very last item, well, second last item. Now it becomes a single layer. Now I can cut this up. So I'm going to cut this like this. Drag this out like that. And I'm going to go Edit, cut, and then I'm going to go File, New. Okay, and then when I paste this, Edit Paste, it pastes just the graphic, just the way I want. And then I'm going to save this right away, just so you can see how I save this. Using Save for Web and Devices, and you get this. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Okay, if it isn't a JPEG, click here and choose JPEG. As a gradient will work better. And it's going to be a tiny file at 30 quality, so that's great. So I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to put it in my web folder, which is here. And I'm going to call this one banner underscore image.jpg. Okay. And now I'm going to cut out this piece down here. You want to do it just right. Hopefully I'll get it just right. Ooh, that's tough. Let's see if that's okay. And I'm going to cut it. So Command X cuts. And then Command N is new file. And then Command V. Oh, and it's got a bit of a white edge to it. I'm not going to worry about that for now, but what I would do, actually no, I am going to worry about that now. I'm going to zoom in on this, and I'm just going to get rid of it by cropping. So if you do end up with a problem like this, just get the crop tool and zoom in and go up to there and double click. Okay, and now you can go File, Save for Web and Devices. And then this one, same as a JPEG, save as, and it's going to be menu image. Menu image.jpg. Now we'll go back to this one again. Now we have to create the background gradients. And the background gradients are going to look like this. You just have to make sure that this slice that you slice out is going to be longer than the graphic you just cut out. And it is, and it's gone into the white. And so I'm just going to make it a little wider than that so you can see it. You don't need to make it very wide. In fact, it could be just a pixel wide. And then again, I'm going to do an edit cut, which is Command X, and then Command N as a new file, and then Command V to paste. And then this one, File, Save for Web and Devices. Same thing again, save. And this one is going to be my banner, not image, but banner background. Okay, now going back to this file, I'm going to slice out the background graphic for the menu file, which will be this one. Okay, and again, Command X for cut, Command N for new, and then Command V for paste. Then File, Save for Web and Devices. And then click Save, and this will be my menu background. Okay, let's see if you can get all that done, and this is preparatory for the graphics for your web portfolio.